Gene Simmons, the larger-than-life bassist and co-founder of the legendary band Kiss, has long been known for his outrageous stage persona, fiery performances, and tongue that seems to have a life of its own. For decades, he dominated the rock scene, creating an image that was as shocking as it was unforgettable. Fans adored him for his charisma, his flamboyant style, and his unapologetic personality, while critics often questioned just how much of the man behind the makeup they really knew. Recently, however, the world has been left stunned. News about Gene Simmons has surfaced that fans never anticipated. And it's more than just a headline. It's a revelation about the man behind the monstrous persona. Despite decades of fame, fortune, and controversy, Gene has been quietly facing challenges that many never saw coming. From personal struggles to business pressures, and even behind-the-scenes conflicts within Kiss, these revelations paint a picture that's far more complex than the rock legend fans have idolized for so long. In interviews, Gene has often said he thrives on shock and spectacle. But the latest developments show a more human side, one marked by vulnerability, reflection, and the harsh realities of aging in the limelight. For fans who grew up worshiping the rock god, this news is both shocking and deeply emotional. Suddenly, the man who seemed invincible and untouchable is facing a chapter of life that challenges everything his public image has built. From heated discussions about band dynamics to personal reflections on fame, the latest updates reveal Gene Simmons like never before. Fans are left speechless, trying to reconcile the rock icon they know with the human being navigating struggles far beyond the stage lights. This story is not just about scandal or gossip. It's about fame, legacy, and the truth behind one of rock's most enduring figures. Gene Simmons, born Chaim Witz in 1949 in Haifa, Israel, had a childhood that couldn't have been more removed from the extravagant life he would one day lead. Growing up in post-war Israel and later moving to Queens, New York as a young child, Gene faced cultural shifts, language barriers, and the struggles of adapting to a completely new world. These early hardships shaped the tenacity and ambition that would define him for the rest of his life. He learned quickly that survival required toughness, determination, and a willingness to stand out. By the late 1960s, Gene had discovered a deep passion for music, particularly the electrifying energy of rock and roll. He played in several local bands, honing both his bass skills and his sense of showmanship. Even in these early years, it was clear that Gene was not content with ordinary success. He wanted to leave a lasting mark on the music world. It was during this period that he met Paul Stanley, a connection that would eventually lead to one of the most iconic bands in rock history, Kiss. In 1973, Kiss officially formed with Gene, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. From the very beginning, the band set itself apart. They weren't just musicians, they were performers, creating a theatrical experience that combined pyrotechnics, makeup, and larger-than-life personas. Gene became the Demon, instantly recognizable for his towering presence, iconic tongue, and fierce stage antics. Fans were captivated not just by the music, but by the legend the band had created. Gene's demon persona symbolized rebellion, power, and the shocking energy of rock music. But the creation of the Demon went beyond performance. Gene had a vision for Kiss that extended into branding, merchandising, and global recognition. He understood that music alone was not enough. Fans wanted an experience, a story, and a personality to connect with. From comic books to action figures, Gene transformed the band into a phenomenon, ensuring that their influence would reach far beyond the stage. His ambition drove the band to unprecedented heights, but it also introduced tension. Fellow band members often clashed with him over creative and business decisions, highlighting the challenges of balancing artistry with commercial success. Offstage, Gene's life was complex. He navigated relationships, media scrutiny, and the pressures of fame while maintaining the public image of the untouchable demon. His personal life, often shielded from fans, reflected the sacrifices required to maintain such a demanding career. Fame brought wealth and adoration, but it also demanded constant attention and perfection, pressures that few outside the industry could truly understand. Despite these challenges, Gene's determination never wavered. He and Kiss became global icons, selling out arenas and inspiring generations of musicians. His influence extended far beyond the music itself. He helped redefine what it meant to be a rock star, blending performance, personality, and business savvy into one unforgettable package. Gene Simmons wasn't just a musician, he was a brand, a legend, and a living embodiment of rock and roll rebellion. However, even in the midst of global fame and success, the pressures of living such an extreme life began to show. Tensions within the band, the constant public scrutiny, and the physical demands of decades on stage would later shape the challenges and controversies that fans are now shocked to learn about. The man behind the makeup was far more complex than anyone had imagined, a truth that would soon come into the spotlight in ways that left fans speechless. As Kiss rose to international fame, Gene Simmons found himself living a life that many could only dream of. Sold-out arenas, worldwide recognition, and an almost mythic stage persona. Yet behind the towering demon makeup and the theatrics, the reality of fame brought immense personal challenges. For Gene, the life of a rock legend was not all pyrotechnics and adoration. It came with pressure, conflict, and sacrifices that often went unnoticed by fans. Inside the band, tensions ran high. Creative differences, personality clashes, and disputes over leadership created a volatile environment. Gene's relentless drive to expand Kiss into a global phenomenon often put him at odds with fellow band members. While his vision was clear to transform Kiss into a brand as much as a band, maintaining friendships and collaborations under constant public scrutiny proved difficult. These conflicts occasionally spilled into headlines, leaving fans to speculate about rifts they could barely understand. Outside the band, Gene's personal life also faced scrutiny. Relationships, marriages, and friendships were tested under the bright lights of fame. Every decision seemed to be magnified, and private struggles were often made public. The balance between maintaining a rock star persona and preserving personal happiness was delicate, and Gene frequently walked that tightrope alone. Family life, despite his fame, was a priority for him, and he made efforts to protect his children from the pressures of the spotlight. Yet the demands of touring, recording, and public appearances made it an ongoing challenge. Health was another concern. Years of high-energy performances, wild stage antics, and a demanding lifestyle began to take a toll. Injuries, chronic fatigue, and the physical consequences of decades on tour were realities Gene could not ignore. Yet he rarely let this show in public. The demon had to remain indestructible, larger than life, and unshakable in the eyes of fans, even when his body and mind struggled behind closed doors. Despite these difficulties, Gene's ambition never faltered. He understood that Kiss was more than just a band. It was a brand, a global enterprise. From merchandising and television appearances to unique marketing ventures, Gene expanded the band's influence far beyond music. His sharp business sense ensured Kiss's place in history, but it also added pressure, leaving him juggling performance, commerce, and the expectations of millions of fans worldwide. Through it all, Gene maintained his sense of humor and his public persona. Even in moments of personal struggle, he continued to shock, entertain, and inspire. Fans adored the demon on stage, but few realized the human behind it. A man navigating fame, family, health, and the weight of a legacy he had built with ambition, courage, and sometimes controversy. The latest revelations about Gene Simmons reveal how the pressures of fame and personal challenges intersected in ways that left fans stunned. Beyond the iconic performances and wild persona, there's a story of resilience, mistakes, and perseverance. A glimpse into the complexities of living life at the very top of rock and roll, where every choice carries immense consequences. In recent months, Gene Simmons has made headlines that fans never anticipated. For decades, the rock legend was known for his audacious persona, larger-than-life performances, and fearless approach to fame. But now, the world is witnessing a side of Gene that few expected, a more vulnerable, human, and sometimes controversial reality that has left longtime followers stunned. The news centers around a combination of personal revelations and behind-the-scenes developments within Kiss, despite decades of dominating the rock world. Gene has been quietly facing challenges in his personal and professional life. Rumors about potential band disagreements, business pressures, and personal decisions have surfaced, painting a picture far more complex than the one fans have idolized. For some, it's shocking to see that even a man who seemed invincible behind the demon mask experiences struggles that resonate deeply on a human level. One area that has particularly captured attention is Gene's approach to his family and private life. Though he has always been protective of his children and fiercely loyal to his wife, recent reports suggest that the balance between fame and family has been a source of tension. Fans have expressed disbelief upon learning that the man who seemed untouchable on stage has wrestled with the same relationship complexities that affect millions of ordinary people. The contrast between his public persona and private life has sparked conversations worldwide, leaving audiences trying to reconcile the legend with the human being behind the makeup. Additionally, some shocking revelations have emerged regarding Kiss's internal dynamics. Gene's role as both a creative force and a business strategist has always been central, but reports now suggest moments of intense conflict with fellow band members over direction, branding, and financial decisions. While these issues were largely shielded from the public for years, insiders claim that the stress and pressure have occasionally led to heated disputes, challenging the image of the band as a cohesive unit. Fans are left speechless at the behind-the-scenes drama, realizing that the story of Kiss extends far beyond the music they've cherished for decades. Health has also played a part in the recent news. While Gene has maintained a vigorous touring schedule and active lifestyle, sources indicate that he has faced physical challenges consistent with decades of performing at a high intensity. Fatigue, minor injuries, and the demands of age have required careful management, adding another layer of complexity to his life. For fans who have always seen the demon as untouchable, learning that he must confront these realities is both shocking and deeply humanizing. Despite all of this, Gene Simmons continues to command attention, not just for controversy, but for his resilience and adaptability. He has remained unapologetically himself, embracing both the public persona and the private struggles that accompany a life lived in the spotlight. Social media reactions have ranged from disbelief to admiration, with fans expressing shock at the revelations, but also respect for his continued determination. Many are discussing how these developments reveal the man behind the makeup, flawed, human, and enduringly committed to his legacy. The combination of personal, professional, and health-related revelations has left the global audience reflecting on what it truly means to be a rock icon. Gene Simmons has always been a master of image and performance, but the latest news proves that even legends are not immune to the pressures of life. Fans are left grappling with a new understanding. The demon is both a fearless performer and a human being navigating challenges, surprises, and the realities of decades in the limelight. In the wake of the recent revelations, Gene Simmons has responded with the same honesty and confidence that have defined his career. Fans around the world were left speechless by the news, but Gene has approached the situation with transparency, acknowledging the challenges of life behind the demon persona while reaffirming his commitment to music, family, and the legacy he has built over decades. Gene's approach has been surprisingly candid. In interviews and statements, he has admitted that fame comes with pressure, and that maintaining the Kiss brand while managing personal responsibilities is no small feat. People see the demon on stage, but they don't see the years of hard work, the sacrifices, and the tough decisions behind the scenes, he shared. This level of openness has allowed fans to connect with him on a new level, seeing the human side of a man they've admired for decades. Despite the controversies, Gene continues to work tirelessly. He remains actively involved in Kiss projects, including tours, merchandise, and special events. His dedication to the band and the fans has never wavered, proving that even with personal challenges, he prioritizes the music and the community that has supported him throughout his career. Behind the scenes, he maintains a careful balance between professional obligations and personal well-being, showing resilience in the face of pressure and scrutiny. The fan reaction has been mixed, but overwhelmingly respectful. Many are shocked by the revelations, unable to reconcile the rock legend they've idolized with the human being navigating complex realities. Others, however, have expressed admiration for Gene's transparency and continued dedication, praising his ability to confront difficult truths while remaining committed to his craft. Social media is filled with discussions, tributes, and reflections, all underscoring the powerful impact he has had on generations of fans. Gene's family has also been a source of strength. Sharon, Jack, and Sophie have publicly and privately supported him, highlighting the importance of loyalty and love amidst public scrutiny. Their support has enabled Gene to continue performing and engaging with fans while managing the challenges revealed in the latest news. These moments of family solidarity remind the world that even rock icons rely on personal bonds to navigate life's pressures. Ultimately, the latest developments reinforce the complexity of Gene Simmons' life and career. He is not just a rock star with an unforgettable stage persona. He is a businessman, a father, a husband, and a man who has faced extraordinary pressures with determination and resilience. The news may have left fans speechless, but it also adds depth to the legacy of a man who has spent decades redefining what it means to be a rock icon. Gene's story continues to inspire. It is a tale of ambition, perseverance, and authenticity, illustrating that even those who appear larger than life are human, capable of facing challenges, making difficult decisions, and continuing to leave an indelible mark on the world. The demon's roar may now carry additional meaning, a reminder that strength, transparency, and resilience are just as powerful as fame and spectacle. Even with the shock and controversy, Gene Simmons remains an enduring figure in music history. His legacy, both on stage and off, is stronger than ever, proving that the truth behind the mask only adds to the legend. Fans may be surprised by what they've learned, but they are also reminded why Gene Simmons is, and always will be, one of the most unforgettable figures in rock and roll history.